Let's talk about Legionella Risk Assessments. First of all, if you don't have a Legionella Risk Assessment and one has not been conducted in many years, stop what you're doing right now. Go to LegionellaControlSystems.com and learn why you need a Legionella Risk Assessment, because without it, your facility and your career are really at risk. But let's presume, for the sake of this discussion, that you have had a Legionella Risk Assessment conducted in the past. I want to talk about 5 reasons you should consider getting a second opinion on that Legionella Risk Assessment. The first reason is simply that time has passed. If it's been a number of years since you had your Legionella Risk Assessment done, it's worth going ahead and getting a second opinion right away. So many factors could have changed. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the rest of this discussion, but just be aware that there are enough variables when it comes to solid Legionella control that you really need to not let too much time pass before you conduct another Legionella Risk Assessment. The second reason that you should consider a second opinion is even if time has not passed, but system elements have changed, then it's certainly time for a second opinion. If your equipment, your configuration, your plumbing, whatever it may be has changed, it's time for another opinion on your Legionella Risk Assessment. And honestly, it's rare that any system would stay static and not change over time. So that's a very common reason why you would need another Legionella Risk Assessment. The reason you should consider a second opinion is because you may have a very high liability risk associated with Legionella in your facility. Certainly, if you're caring for individuals who are immunocompromised, or if you have a lot of public visitors to your facility for whom you don't know what their status is, it's very important that you recognize you have a very high liability risk, and you need to make sure that you get a second opinion on your Legionella Risk Assessment. The fourth reason you want to consider a second opinion on your Legionella Risk Assessment is because better Legionella testing and control measures, remediation, mitigation, and whatnot, have been developed over the years. That the control and testing environment is really relatively fluid, and it's exciting how many new advances are being made. So you should certainly consider a Legionella Risk Assessment second opinion, just given the nature of the improving technology. And finally, you should consider a second opinion on your Legionella Risk Assessment simply because there may be some cost savings available to you. More efficient Legionella control technologies, both on the testing side as well as the remediation or mitigation elements, have become available over time. And certainly this is one where if you have your choice, and really you do, you should make sure that you are using an independent Legionella consultant, because honestly, if you're working with a company that only has one or two options that they go to over and over, you may be missing out on some opportunity for cost savings as well as better Legionella control. So make sure you work with an independent testing consultant. So there are your 5 reasons why you should consider getting a second opinion on your Legionella risk assessment. And really, you can learn more about this and find a good independent option if you go to LegionellaControlSystems.com.